Hey guys, welcome back to another Warframe video and continuing our series with lore behind the frames. Today let's take a look at Banshee. I'm sure many of you know what a Banshee is. However, oral traditions like this from ages long past, right? They get muddled as time goes on and their meaning gets distorted. As well as pop culture always puts a spin on things, so today's image of what a Banshee is like is not entirely correct. So let me explain the lore and try to figure out how this image came to be. So there's quite a few things that could explain the origins of how the myth of the Banshee came to be. But first let's go into the lore as to what is actually said to be, because what if it actually is true, right? Or perhaps you just want to know. So, as terrifying as a Banshee may seem to probably everyone on the face of the planet, right? Banshees aren't actually supposed to be scary. Nor are they supposed to be bad or evil. They're actually extremely helpful. So let's go into what is a Banshee. First, a Banshee is a female, and she's supposed to look kind of unkempt. Perhaps messy hair, perhaps not wearing shoes, and in a weathered nightgown or something, right? This is the stereotypical image. It's not actually wrong, surprisingly, right? So where she differs from in our modern view of her from the past is why she's doing the things she's doing and what exactly is she doing. So what it is she's not there to haunt you or to come reap you or whatever the hell people think. She's basically there. First of all, she's only there for a specific type of people. So if you have Irish nobility in your bloodline, like you are a direct descendant, then she's basically like an ancestral spirit that's supposed to help you and guide you, as well as all the other people in your family that are directly related. And what she's actually doing is warning you. She's foretelling the death. She's foretelling the death that's supposed to come. And it's not like a mocking thing or a haunting thing. It's more like set your affairs in order, you know, say goodbye to your loved ones and do everything you need to do so you won't be, you know, in regret as a ghost and have unfinished business. No, this is giving you the ability to get the closure for you and your loved ones while you can, because she's telling you ahead of time you're going to die. And pretty much no one else is going to hear her except for you, if you're the person that's going to die. And it's not like a warning like, hey, there's death that's possibly coming your way, try to avert it. No. That's not the case here. She's coming to tell you, you are going to die. There is nothing you can do. You're fucked. So, you know, make peace with this. There's no way out of it. So there's a few speculations that over time people have made about the Banshee. And one is that she's a fae. Another one is that in life she was someone who suffered a cruel fate, and then she's like cursed to do this for all of eternity. Or she was a cruel person in life. This is her karma, that she has to do this for all of eternity. For her family. But I never met a Banshee, so I can't say if it's true or not. This is just what some people think. So in case you don't know, besides the fact that she may look creepy, you may be wondering why would anyone be afraid of this if you don't know about Banshees to begin with. And it's because when they come at you and they're actually warning you of death, they're not exactly telling you in a calm voice or whatever. No, they're crying and wailing and singing combined, you know, to warn you of your demise, or whoever in the family of their demise. And in case you don't know what this is keening. So I don't think that keening goes on anywhere in the world to this day. So it's understandable why most people may not know what the hell it is. But in the past, it was common in Ireland at least. And it's kind of like a profession. So what happens is, the Irish nobility at the time, when somebody died, they would hire someone, a keening woman, to come and perform for them. And it's kind of like a ceremony of like singing them away, like, you know, releasing their spirit or mourning for the family. Or it's hard to put it into words, but it's kind of like you get to vent through this person. Like this person is venting for you. Like, you know, some people just don't know how to release it. So this person is doing it for you, kind of thing. And it's also showing the respect Like you respect this person that you lost so much that you're getting this woman to perform this ceremony for you. And what she does is keening. She's going to perform this singing, crying, wailing ceremony. However, this is a long since forgotten thing, because when Christianity rolled around, it creeped them out, and they're like, no, nobody can do this anymore. This is blasphemy. This is evil. Like always with everything else. So this is why this is not really done anymore, and it's not a known thing, really, I think. So I am spiritual, so I do believe in ghosts and spirits and stuff like that. Perhaps a banshee is real. Perhaps banshees are real, because it's not just one. But if it's not, let me explain my theories as to what it could have been. So my first explanation is very simple. It's that someone either heard the story passed down of like a funeral and a keening woman being there, and they misunderstood what a keening woman was. And or someone, an outsider, saw a funeral taking place and they saw a keening woman present there, and it creeped them out. And you may be like, just them crying at a funeral wouldn't be so crazy. Like why would they think it's a ghost? Well, someone not from that culture may not understand the point of it, as well as everyone else in the funeral is probably of nobility. They have fancier clothes and they have, you know, more proper looks to them. But keening women lived outside of society. Like they were like the cunning women. They lived on the outside of the town or whatever. They were kind of unkept. They probably had messy hair and tattered clothes. They may not have shoes, but they were absolutely sought after and hired by this noble family for the ceremonies. So, you know, one of these things don't belong. And if you're an outsider and you're seeing this, you may be like, it may look freaky. Like there's one person here that is not dressed like everyone else, and they're wailing and no one's paying attention to them. Can they even see her? Is she a ghost? It's just a speculation, just a thought that I might had. As well as, what if this keening woman was practicing when it's not even a funeral? Like she's just in her house in the woods somewhere practicing, and someone overheard this, and then they told someone, and then that person just died by coincidence, and then someone else was like, oh my god, they heard this person, they heard this woman crying and screaming, and you know, there was nothing there, and then they died. And then this is how the lore came to be. Perhaps, I don't know. As someone who lived in a wilderness like environment myself, I kind of am aware of this, and I think it's something that people that never stepped foot in the woods may not know. It's that some animals are kind of freaky. And what I mean is, if there was a raven that was nearby a keening woman practicing, or even nearby a funeral, and it witnesses this, it may find that so amusing that it wants to mimic it. And in case you don't know, they're highly intelligent, and they're kind of like parrots. They can mimic us to the T. They can take our voice, and they may not make this keening sound again until they run into a human, perhaps walking in the woods alone, or sitting in their bedroom at night. And then to get the human's attention, because they're thinking like, oh, human, last time I saw a human, they were doing this weird sound. It was very dramatic to me, so it left an impression. And then they mimic the sound. But you, as the bystander walking in the woods or whatever, hearing this mourning woman screaming and wailing and singing in the middle of the woods would probably creep you the fuck out. And even if you're not in the middle of the woods and you're just in your bedroom looking out into the wilderness, it's still scary, which is what I think possibly may be the cause of, you know, what people think was a banshee. But there's other things as well. For instance, when a female fox is in heat, they scream like a terrified woman in the woods. As well as there's a type of owl who also screams like a terrified woman. However, without having this pre-known knowledge, and you're just in the wilderness hearing the sound coming from seemingly nowhere or an impossible location, it doesn't make sense. So your brain is going to jump to, this has to be supernatural. And my final speculation of what a banshee could have been is pretty horrible. It's that there's actually a woman in the wilderness and something terrible is happening to them, and people being so afraid that that's a ghost or something never go to help her. However, if this was a ghost, specifically an ancestor of the family trying to warn their living descendants of, you know, their demise, Why would they be screaming or crying? Well, in spellcraft, if you want to actually do something spiritually, like cast a spell or something, you need energy. And an easy shortcut to getting a large charge fast is to imbue it with a lot of passion, a lot of raw emotion. And even more so is like, if you know this person's gonna die, perhaps they're gonna die a tragic way that brings you grief, it brings you pain. And therefore you're using that pain that you know is coming to charge your spiritual phone call to the person that you're trying to warn. So you're using that as your energy to cast your spell, to communicate to them. Anyway, onto the frame. So normally I go through the spells one by one and try to match it with lore. This time, however, I think I'm just gonna explain a few things. So Banshees don't use their voice as a weapon. Remember, the sound they're making is a warning to their loved ones, basically. But weaponizing it to destroy your enemies kind of doesn't make sense for Banshee. At least not the traditional ways Banshees are supposed to be. However, let's say you are a Banshee and you do need to protect someone you love or something like that that's in the living world from the living. All you really would be proficient at is channeling emotion to use sound in the physical world. So you may think that's useless, but it's actually not useless. Everything vibrates at a certain frequency, and sound can alter just about every single thing's frequency. So therefore you could target the very body of your opponent and, I don't know, separate their atoms or target their brain. For instance, how can I explain this? Like, there is certain frequencies that'll make you sick to your stomach or make you paranoid or alter your mood, probably even turn your body off and just knock you out. Like, sound is pretty damn dangerous. As well as you can alter, if you know how to control to create sound, you would know how to muffle and dissipate sound as well. So silencing your weapons is completely within the realm of possibility, as well as using sonar as well. So despite the fact that I don't think this matches up with lore perfectly, if a Banshee was put in this Warframe type of situation where they had to fight, this would probably be the way they fight, to be honest. So it's not perfect, but I do think it makes sense. They did the best they could do given the circumstance. Anyway, I guess that's about it for now, guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.